So it's funny, I gave this presentation yesterday in a 45-minute time slot, so at Spinnaker Summit. So I'm gonna blow through a lot of stuff really quick. So yeah, my name's Brandon. I've been active in the Spinnaker community for about 2 years. First at Lookout, where I led an effort to implement continuous delivery with Spinnaker, and now I work at AutoDesk, and I'm working on a similar effort. I've given a lot of talks before about Spinnaker, usually focusing on like the technology aspects and what it took to technically to implement Spinnaker. But today I'm going to step back and talk about another set of challenges. So I actually stole this diagram from a blog post from Flow Sports TV, and I really like it, right? So like implementing continuous delivery requires alignment between an organization's people, process, and technology, right? And in my experience, right, I've found the people and the process problems to be way more difficult than the technology problems, right? And I'm not saying that the technology aspects of CD are trivial or they don't matter, but they're simpler because like it's largely a solved problem. Like CD practices are well documented. The continuous delivery book was released in 2010, right? That's almost a decade ago. And why we're all here, right, is there's a lot of really amazing open source platforms, right? So you no longer have to invest tons of money and resources to build your own CD platforms. So this kind of falls into the people problems that I've had or encountered, right, is kind of deciding what technologies to use. It's very much a people problem because, likely your organization already has existing tooling. It can be very sensitive and high-touch decision to navigate, right? So, like, this is where we're at Lookout, right? We had many different sets of deployment tooling that had been created over the years, and the teams were, like, attached to what they had built, right? And this is not ideal for many reasons, right? So first, like, every tool set requires a separate team to maintain and extend, right? This is very inefficient. Also, like, capabilities were not consistent across all the tools. And finally, like, engineering experience was not consistent across all the tools as well. So what we sought to do was to build one platform, implement one platform, right? We really kind of viewed like every line of code we write as a liability, so we were definitely not gonna build it. So enter Spinnaker. At Lookout and now Autodesk, we've chosen to implement Spinnaker as our single CD platform. And one of the major drivers for this decision is the size and the strength of the Spinnaker community itself, right? There are teams of engineers working full-time on Spinnaker from Netflix, Google, Armory, Amazon, Pivotal, Oracle, Microsoft. Another main reason we decided to use Spinnaker is the really elegant abstraction it provides between your deployment logic and the reference runtimes themselves, right? This gives you a lot of flexibility to be able to try out new technologies, implement new technologies. All the decisions around like cloud providers and platforms like Kubernetes are highly strategic. And Spinnaker allows you to be able to make those changes easily without having to change your user experience. So what happened to all the people that worked on those tools that we were talking about earlier, right? So at Lookout, that team got together. We formed one team with a lot of these people, and they actually built the ECS provider for Spinnaker. And that's good for their careers, good for the community, right? So another thing is security and compliance controls. I found these process changes to be really painful. And one thing I'll say is like it's good to engage your security and your compliance team as early as possible. But there's a general idea that I've encountered that is like slow is safe, right? So this is how you get change control boards, change windows, all of this stuff that kind of get in the way of CD. And yeah, so with CD, right, speed is safety. So how do you implement CD? You have to change all of these compliance control processes. So at Autodesk, this is what things did look like. Every promotion between like dev and staging or staging and production actually required a manager's approval, right? And so, I mean, I used to get a bunch of these, you just click them, right? So it's kind of worthless. What we did is we went and we shifted left the control, right? So we actually said if it's merged to master, it's approved to go to production, right? So here we're putting the context and the approval in the hands of the people that have the context about the change. Yeah, so that's it.